Envision your future. Take the lead is in your walls.
Take the lead is in your walls.
This platform serves as a space for engagement designed to equip young people to become effective leaders. They are actively contributing, creatively engaged, and determined in various fields. And now, this is Take the Lead.
Hello and a pleasant welcome to your exchange program right here, Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9 FM. I am your host, Augustine Curley, and today we are digging into an inspiring conversation. Youth-led solidarity initiatives. We are shining the spotlight on young change makers who are stepping up, reaching out, and lifting up the most disadvantaged people through dynamic associations, grassroots actions, and brilliant focus groups. These are the stories of compassion, innovation, and impact. Stories that prove young people are not just the leaders of today and tomorrow, they are leading right now. So stay with us and be a part of the conversation. Catch us live on 94.9 FM or join our online community on Facebook, WADR English Service, on YouTube at WADR. Also, drop your thoughts, questions, and shout-outs in the comment section of our live feed, and we will read them out throughout the program. It promises to be lively and definitely worth your time. In a time when the world feels divided and uncertain, solidarity might just be our most radical and necessary act. Young people are emerging as powerful agents of change, whose voices, energy, and compassion must be taken into account if we hope to build lasting solutions. True solidarity is not only about standing with others, it is about taking action and empowering others to act. According to the Harrison Radio Foundation, supporting others can also help young people cultivate a more positive outlook on their own circumstances, becoming aware of what others are feeling and the different situations they may be experiencing can increase happiness, satisfaction, optimism, and a deeper sense of empathy. Today, some of these young people will be sharing their contributions and the impact they are making in the lives of those in need, while also highlighting the importance, the benefits, the challenges of young people being involved with serving humanity. We have a great lineup of guests for you today, beginning with Sira Bajan, and Sira is the coordination officer of Lift Up. Lift Up is an association which helps people in need across the region of Senegal. Let's welcome Sira. How are you doing? And welcome to our platform.
Hi, thank you for the invitation, first of all. And my name is Sira Bajan. I'm doing great. What about you?
Well, I'm okay. It's good to have you in our studios today.
Thank you very much.
All right, tell us about the organization. I see Lift Up.
Okay, so Lift Up was founded by a great woman. Her name is Khadija Diallo, and she lives in the United States. First of all, it was a group of friends, but she decided to found an organization called Lift Up. She lives in the United States, as I said, but right now we are doing to help people in needs across the regions.
All right.
Not only Dakar, because usually we see that associations, they focus their help in Dakar because it's the capital, and maybe there are more needs in here, but we're trying to go across the regions.
Yes, especially meeting out the rural areas.
Exactly.
Well, next is Usman Sow. Usman Sow is the program manager at Sutura Foundation. He's dedicated to improving access to health care for underserved communities in Senegal. Welcome, Usman. Welcome to the platform. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Augustine. It's a pleasure to join you here today at this program. I'm doing fine. How about you?
Well, I'm great. How are you dedicated to improving access to health care across Senegal?
Well, Sutura is actually celebrating 20 years of existence this year. We just held our annual gala last Saturday.
Congratulations.
So what we do is that Sutura is a group of volunteers and a small staff at the office who collects a lot of donations and then uses that money to fund healthcare bills for destitute people that cannot finance their healthcare. That's
Great.
basically what we do.
I mean, you will tell us a lot about those initiatives coming from your end. But we also have Ndei Ami Jeng, and Ami is a young finance officer who also has had the experience of serving humanity. But how are you doing, Amin? Welcome to the platform.
Thank you, Mr. Coley. I'm doing great. Thank you. I would like to first greet everyone that is watching us and listening to us. And I'm really grateful to be here today to share a little bit about my experience.
Great. And while we also welcome you, the listening audience, and our amazing viewers, please, what do you make of these young people serving humanity, and how do you think they can impact our global world? Beginning with Sarah talking about a very interesting NGO or association where she's not only focusing on Dakar but other regions. Tell us about solidarity. What comes to your mind about solidarity?
There is one sentence I always used to say is that we cannot help everyone, but each one of us can help someone. And I think that that's where we have to start. We don't have to. We can start, for instance, if you see someone in the street, just help. Do not hesitate. It's not easy to be in a social organization. When it's a group, not everyone will be committed at the same level. So, in my opinion, if each one of us do something, it can achieve at the end bigger things.
Okay. Well, it can achieve bigger things, especially when we are together. But what motivated you to join this association in the first place?
I don't even know. I just know that I like to help. So if there is someone in need next to me, I'm helping. I'm not hesitating. I think that it's everybody. As I said earlier, sorry, as I said earlier, all of us can help one of us. So since I was younger, I know that I used to. I will just say a little experience with my dad. He told me for one day we were just working and going to a shop, and then I saw someone who was with her baby, and I said, like, I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. I saw my dad and I said, Dad, can you have like 500 CFA? He said, why? I want to give that to that person. And I was just 5 or 6. And it means that, like, since my younger age, I knew that I wanted to help. And I am that kind of person who help better when I'm in a group. So not a leader, but a team.
We hope that you continue that, because there are more people who are in need of these kinds of assistance. But congratulations to the 20 years of existence for the organization Sutura Foundation. Tell us a bit about this organization and what are the kind of support that you provide to those in need? Who are those that you really reach out to?
Okay, so Sutura is basically helping people who are struggling with illnesses, okay, various illnesses, but those everyone supported by Sutura is in Senegal, okay?
Please get closer to the
I did not mention the fact that we have a Sutura branch in the United States, in Canada, and in France. Those branches do crowdfunding, fundraising activities and send over the funds over here in Senegal. So what we do is that we have signed agreement with public hospitals here in Senegal, because our target is the destitute people that cannot allow themselves to be treated at private facilities. So we have agreements with those hospitals, and then we collaborate with their social services so that we can identify the patients that really could no longer finance their bills. So we do a checkup, and then if they become eligible, then we can decide how what kind of support we're going to provide. Sometimes we can pay the full bill, sometimes we pay half of it, or we will decide based on the patient's profile.
How do you feel doing this?
I feel actually great doing this because from my experience, after studying abroad, when I got back to Senegal, I had the choice of working because I studied in China. When I get back here, I had the choice of working with Chinese people, and then that was not really interesting me in terms of the impact. I was looking for a firm, an organization with whose mission statement put impact on the communities at the core center of it. Okay, so when I met Sutura, it was exactly what I was looking for, because among Sutura's values we find impact, solidarity. The word Sutura in Wolof, which means I mean, it's hard to translate the word Sutura, but maybe discretion. Okay, so those core values was really deeply rooted to my own personality. That's why I decided to work with Sutura.
Right. For you, Ami, would you mind telling us a bit about your engagement with young people, if not young people, but those in need? It could be elderly people or even pregnant women with regards to providing assistance to them or identifying with them in terms of need.
Okay, so I would like to start off by saying that I believe that it all started a few years ago. Actually, I have been involved in a few clubs and associations when I was in school. But a few years ago, after my mom's passing, we decided to build a well in her memory. And so we chose this village that's close to Fatick. And so after the well was done, we decided to go over there and see a little bit of the impact that it had on the community. And when we went there, we noticed that the people were so deeply grateful for a thing that must be considered as a basic necessity that everyone should have access to. And oftentimes people that live in urban centers and places where their people are a little bit more privileged, they don't take that as a basic necessity. They think it's something that's owed to them, or they're not really grateful for that. And so seeing the deep impact that it had on those people, it really touched me, and it changed my perspective on a lot of things. And so after that, the idea came from my sister actually to start giving food rations to those people in that same community. And so every month we would try to, with the people that are close to us, the close circle, find an amount of money to give those people so that they can get rations and necessities. And so that's where it really started. And right now we're actually looking to actually formalize that and find ways to make it more, as I said, formalized. And so that's what we're working on right now with my sister.
All right.
Yes.
Kindly accept my sympathy for the loss of your mother. But I think in this dream of yours that you're about to formalize, there are concerns about where the young people are driving their support in terms of their assistance to people. We have the issue of food. Some people are lacking food. Some people don't have shelter, area to sleep. Some people need education, like your fellow young person would need education. Some are suffering from mental health problem, like in the case of Usman's own organization. Where do you intend to focus your work?
Okay, so basically we would like to focus on, as I said, basic necessities, because of course there's no cause that is less important as another. However, when you're thinking about it, the basic necessities need to be met before something else comes. Mm-hmm. So that is where we want to focus at first. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we can move on to other things. But for now, we would like to build wells in a few other villages because we saw the impact that it had on that specific one. Mm-hmm. And so build wells in other villages and also give food rations to other villages.
Okay. In terms of your work, Sarah, are you considering partnerships with communities? Are they welcoming the organization, the local leaders, the traditional people? Are you being prevented maybe because of maybe traditional practices or seasonal challenges?
Yeah, as I said, we are trying to go across the region, and it's not usually easy to go there. In terms of finance and in terms also of resources. because we are a group which we are all around the world. And as I said also earlier, the commitment is not the same for everyone, but we are open. We are open to local communities that can help however they can.
How long have you been faced with those challenges? I heard you talking about finance.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Like, for how long you've been facing the challenge of accessing finance to really boost up your assistance?
I mean, since the beginning, I can say. But first of all, what we do is that each member have to contribute, so that we're doing things by ourselves. And sometimes also we have contacts that can help us. It can be the family, it can be local authorities sometimes. So as I said, we take all the help we can get.
Okay.
And we're using also social media, of course, for this.
What is the impact of young people's initiatives in terms of these? And perhaps Usman, you will want to come in. When young people engage in their little ways through their own contributions, like Sira is saying, what impact does it really make on their fellow young people and on the communities and including the nation?
Well, my personal belief is that engaging in community projects has countless benefits. Okay, first one we can mention is that you will learn skills that no classroom can teach you. Okay. You will learn project management, you will learn negotiating, fundraising, digital marketing, and much more on the job. Like a 22-year-old that organizes a sanitary pad drive for 200 schoolgirls will certainly become a better leader than many corporate middle managers. You will also have enterprises and scholarship hunt you and not the other way around, because a lot of companies and universities actively seek young professionals with proven community impact. I can also mention the fact that you will grow your network and come to meet with mentors who will open doors, because those people, like when you, for example, set up a clean water drive, the local mayor, the UNICEF country rep, the CEO that funded you, or the journalist that covered your story will have your phone number. Those contacts can then become internships, jobs, seed fundings, and just lifelong allies. So the benefits are just countless. You will have a stronger identity, and you will just stop believing in that lie that nothing works in Africa, because every borehole that flows, every elder that eats because of the funding you raised will prove that we can solve our own problems. But also money, like real income. A lot of community projects turn into social enterprises. Institutions like the African Union or a lot of foundations like MasterCard Foundation, they have prizes and grants for young change makers. A lot of crowdfunding success stories turn their volunteers into paid staff of their own organizations. So the benefits are just countless, in my opinion.
Just before I cross over to Ami, Sira spoke about financial challenges. In your own understanding, do you have other aspects of barriers that really prevent or it challenges a young person who wants to help through these social initiatives?
I think the main barrier is just the mindset first. When the young people have the right mindset, and just not the old mindset of I need to find a job where I'm just working on my desk. They need to have that mindset of they need to be their own actors of change. Okay, a lot of young leaders that they admire today, they started small. They just tried to solve a problem they saw around them. So I think that mindset is the first and the most important barrier. Once it's broken down, they can achieve anything they set their minds into.
All right. We are in a digital world. And for you, Ami, as you envision, although you try to look at basic necessities, but how do you consider the internet, making use of the social media, the digital tools that we have to also reach out to people, especially the most vulnerable?
I believe that social media may be one of the strongest tools that organizations or clubs in general have to reach the most amount of people in the smallest amount of time, I would say. And so using social media to promote, or not even promote, but actually get a reach to people may be the best ways. And some people are sometimes a little bit hesitant to do that because it may seem like they're trying to brag or show that they're doing something. However, it's only just a way to get more people involved and actually show people the impact that whatever the organization is doing is actually there. So I think it's a very important tool to use.
Right, great. We have so far listened to interesting statements from our guests on this 50th episode of Take the Lead in the year 2025. Let's now travel to Mali in the Central Sahel region, where several youth organizations or associations are continuing their efforts to support internally displaced persons. Through acts of solidarity, they are organizing the distribution of IDPs materials, and it is simple but essential operation for families living in extreme state of poverty. Imo Edit has the details in this report filed by our correspondent in Bamako, Aliou Cham.
Since the onset of the security crisis in Mali, several hundred people from central and northern regions of the country have sought refuge in Bamako. Due to attacks by armed groups, they were forced to flee, leaving all their belongings behind. However, several youth organizations are stepping up to help these vulnerable individuals through acts of solidarity. One such organization is the Association of Pharmacy Students, which has decided to provide clothing to those in need. Amadou Dakar is the association's vice president.
The donation was organized to pay tribute and also to help our dear parents who are coming directly from the war zones. You know, it's not easy. Those people lived just like us here in Bamako, in their homes. They had everything, but they lost everything because of the war. We organized this activity to raise awareness and launch an appeal to all Malians.
According to the association, this initiative addresses an urgent necessity observed on the ground: the lack of appropriate clothing, particularly for children and women during the cooler season. Another non-profit youth organization, Green Impact, is also involved in initiatives aimed at supporting displaced persons. Lamin Jara, who founded this association, notes that they have intensified their social activities in response to the recent increase in the number of displaced people arriving in Bamako.
Overall, we wanted to collect clothes, but then we got ointments, later shoes. Some even provided financial assistance, but still, it wasn't a huge amount because we were really demanding at the time. We thought, if you want to give us money, buy clothes and give us those clothes. The fact is, we are in a cold period, and our parents who are struggling don't necessarily have the means to keep warm, to at least cope with the cold. So, based on these observations, we wanted to set up this activity to help them.
Meanwhile, the beneficiaries, who are primarily women and children from the region, are very grateful for the support they are receiving. Alassane Diallo, a young displaced person, expresses his appreciation for the assistance.
I thank them immensely for what they did, because we are like little brothers to them. If they've made a habit of giving us clothes or shoes like that, I thank them immensely, because not everyone can imagine doing something like that.
The leaders of both associations have announced their intention to make this operation a permanent feature, expanding their collections to include other essential donations such as hygiene kits and school supplies. They are also calling for contributions from citizens and businesses to enhance these solidarity actions, particularly those led by young people in the humanitarian care of internally displaced persons living in Bamako.
Thanks to our correspondent in Bamako, Aliou Cham, who filed that report voiced by Imo Edit.
Hey people, my name is Mello, Afrobeat singer from Guinea, and I love listening to the program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Hello, my name is Fatou Bintou Rassoukane. I'm the CEO of African Start Shop, and I love listening to your program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Welcome back to Take the Lead, your exceptional platform that features discussions about young people's livelihood. We are streaming live on YouTube at WADR, on Facebook, WADR English Service, worldwide at wadr.org. Let's quickly recognize our partner radio stations that rebroadcast this program through the sub-region. For Nigeria, we have Darlin FM. We have Nenset FM in Kaduna State. We have Love FM in Abuja. In Liberia, we have Alternative Youth Radio in Lofa County. We have DCN Radio in Rivers County. Kwatika Radio in Bangabong County. Radio Bombing in Bombing County. For Sierra Leone, we have the African Young Voices in Freetown. We have Radio Baf in Mal. We have Hands of Hope in Freetown. We have Eastern Radio in Kono District. Crossing over to Ghana, we have Radio Path in the Savannah region, as well as Royals FM. In the neighboring Gambia, we have Nomi FM, as well as Radio Veritas. Those are our partner radio stations that rebroadcast this program throughout the week. So please listen to them. Once you are in those countries, you will certainly have an understanding about the entire program. Let's now, hear from you, our distinguished guests. You just listened to a report. Some young people in Mali, they are meeting the needs of internally displaced people. As you may be aware, the Sahel is in crisis, and the issue of insecurity is a paramount concern. People are displaced as a result of attacks by terrorists. What do you make of that? Beginning with you, Sarah, you listened to this report. What did you take from it?
I think that there are a lot of people right now who are not feeling maybe safe in their country, and what I can. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's my first time doing a broadcast, so I'm stressing
No
a bit.
problem.
Can you come back to me?
Yes, the help of these people. These people are helping displaced people, young people like you, providing clothes, providing food to the displaced people who don't have these things. What do you make of their efforts?
I think that they're doing wonderful work. First of all, we all need to bring our own our I'm really sorry. We all need to bring our own help to each people that we meet. I will join also what Amin said earlier. Maybe starting by basic needs, because it's the first thing that we need, and then after that, coming to a larger scale.
Okay, the health issues are concerned there too. I guess you listened to that, Usman.
Yes, I feel like displacement is one of the most fragile states a community can be found itself into. So I really salute their efforts, and I feel like it comes back to the mindset I was mentioning earlier. If the community, and most importantly the young people, have that mindset of not waiting for foreign assistance and international NGOs to come and help them get out of their crisis states, that's the most important aspect of it. Once they start doing those efforts, I feel like the most important thing is to focus on showing the impact of their actions, so that they can have other entities join their efforts and put the impact at another level.
Okay, but is this really at an average level, especially in West Africa, to have young people doing these kinds of things? Do we really have many young people doing this, or just very few? For you, Ami?
Well, I would like to say that there are indeed not a lot, but a good amount of people that are doing this. However, we would like to see more engagement by everyone. And just being from Senegal, I think we can all relate to the fact that every time you go outside of your house, you will see someone that is in need of help. So it's not something that is foreign to us. It's not something that we're not confronted to. And so it should be something that's very natural and that comes very naturally to us. But yes, so I would like to say that it's present. However, it could be very much improved.
But these types of support also need resources.
It does.
And the young people are so far doing it their own way through their little efforts. So what sort of support do they really need? Who should provide those support to help enhance their works?
Well, first of all, I believe that support is important, but to be honest, everyone can do something at their small scale, just like Sira said. If each one of us was trying to help someone in some type of way, we could really make a change. And just reuniting our efforts and all putting our efforts towards something, is gonna make an impact. However, having help from other organizations or outside sources would be very important also.
Well, Amir is talking about organizations, and I see you nodding your head, Sira. Looking at other relief organization like maybe UNHCR, maybe Plan Liberia, those international humanitarian organizations like even UNDP, that's also helping to ensure developments in how to reach countries. What can you say to them? Because a young person like you trying your possible best, but you need funding. But these are organizations that go beyond what you're doing. But what would you say to them?
I would say that I know that I'm repeating myself, but as I said, we all need all the help we can get. But usually, I noticed that the young people, they're not always taken seriously. But if we have, for instance, help from an organization outside helps, they will more take seriously the actions we take, and the impact can be bigger. So what I say is that we need local authorities sometimes that can help, other organizations, other NGOs as well. They have to help like small associations.
Because this might be a little, but the impact, it's heavy in terms of the lives they are touching there in Mali, for example. For you, how do you consider just a little kindness? What impact you think it really brings out in the person who is benefiting for you, Usman?
Well, I think that it's that impact is just it cannot be measured, in my opinion, because see, for example, when I working with Sutura, one of the most impactful feelings I get is when a patient comes at the office for the interview, and then when we provide that assistance, just that moral support before the actual treatment, just that moral support, that moral assistance, it's 50% of the work. Okay, so I feel like the smallest gestures can also sometimes have the biggest impacts. And in my opinion, to get back to the question you just mentioned, sometimes it's the local communities, and when I say communities, it starts with the young people. The local communities are more prepared to face some of the challenges because they are more in touch with the local environment. Sometimes NGOs like UNDP, they do a great work, but they have troubles with some environmental barriers that they don't really grasp. Okay, so I feel like working with the communities, and I feel like that's how they actually work right now. Impact is at the core center of their focus, and that's why young initiatives should not be neglected. Those initiatives will, when the impact is proven, have the financing follow.
Right, great. You want to add something to that, Amin?
I do actually want to add something. As he said earlier, oftentimes they tend to neglect the impact that those little initiatives have. When, for example, if an NGO tried to come to Senegal and act in a region where there are already people that have their materials that could help people in that region, they bring their own materials, they bring their own people, when really there's a community already there that they could provide maybe jobs to. For example, if you say that you try to build a hospital or something in a region, you're gonna come and bring all of your equipment or all of your people that are gonna build it, when you could be at that same time fostering some type of engagement from the community and getting people to actually work there and have jobs, I would say. So sometimes that is very important, involving the community.
Putting into perspective this initiative by young people, particularly in Mali, these are memories that really do not erase from the minds of these young people. Even when they grow old, they will remember that they met the needs of internally displaced people in Mali. And I believe even those who are the beneficiaries will never forget these kinds of help. Now you are also doing same within the health sector, Usma. But would you mind reminding us about a time that you would never forget where your assistance really touched you and you felt the impact in you, even not more than the person you helped, but you could feel it that you have done something?
Well, I personally have that feeling almost every day, okay, at work. But if I was to mention one special moment, I might say that just last year, just into this year in 2025, we have had one of the women that we were supporting through cancer, and one of her children were fighting she was fighting to finance her child's education, okay? And through one of our partners and donors, we have been able to provide a scholarship for the child. And after a couple of years, just this year, last year he graduated with his high school diploma.
Wow.
So just seeing that impact of oftentimes health issues impacting other areas like education, and that next generation to come up and support that family, seeing that impact live is some of the key memories that I'm not going to forget easily.
Wow. Do you have such a memory for you, Sira? Can you remember any of your work that even if you are old tomorrow, you will never forget that moment?
Yeah, as I said, we were working in team, but there is one experience that really touched me, and I think that it was all of us. I don't know if you know, but there was a time where there were story at Mbake where children were victims of sexual abuse, and we went there to offer our support psychologically, because we have psychologists in lift up. Okay. And then we went there also to follow young girls, and we went there also to bring basic needs. It touched me because first of all, they used to say that there are some people, they used to promise a lot of things, but at the end they're not doing it. They're doing just, she mentioned it earlier, to brag, we can say, and they're not doing support in the long term. Okay. And what in Lift Up we are doing is to support people sustainably.
Wow. Sustainable development and initiative, right there, impacting whole lives and community. But there are concerns about whether young people are supporting young people, whether youth groups are also supporting youth groups to ensure that the solidarity we're talking about is the unity, that we come together so that the impact that we will have on our community will be bigger than our individual organizations' impact. What do you think of that? Are young people really working with one another? Or there is this division? One person wants his or her organization to be seen as the most impactful organization than the other?
I believe that as in all sectors, there's going to be some competition because as we said earlier, the funding sometimes is an issue. And so finding that funding can be a struggle for some organizations. And oftentimes it's usually the ones that are more known or prevalent in the society that are going to be awarded those fundings. And so it is natural that there is some type of competition between different organizations or different youth groups. However, just sticking together, it's really what's going to help in the long term, because when we look at it, we're all trying to help people. And since we have the same objective, it wouldn't really make sense to be that divided. And so I think it's really important for youth groups to stick together.
Do you share that same idea?
Actually, yes, I who share the same idea, because as you said, at the end of the day, we all have the same goal, and it's help people in need.
But there could be disagreement, Usman.
Well, I feel like, I mean, of course, the reality of the field is that we have, not only in Africa, but all around the world, I think it's part of human nature that some people, they don't feel like associating with other people. They would like the glory to be their own. Yeah. But the reality is that impact is greater when we get together, okay? Right now, people don't realize it, but a lot of international funding and even national funding is available, but what lacks is those consortiums of multiple entities that can handle all the financing for the impact to be really great. I feel like youngsters can all have their impact highlighted when they get together for a larger project where entity A takes care of advocacy, the other one takes care of the technical aspect, another one can maybe take care of the follow-up and how to evaluate the impact. A lot of things can be done, but we need to get together and, you know, just focus on bringing impact.
Why these initiatives are well appreciated by others? Remember, you are all young people. You are still growing up. You are still preparing your future. You have to live a life as a family. You have to live a life as a professional. And this voluntary work that you are doing, how are you balancing your own lifestyle? As you go out in the interior to help people who are disadvantaged, how do you think about your schooling? How do you think about your job as a professional? How do you also think about your personal life, considering your health and what you need in your own life to grow handsomely or beautifully? Do you balance these things? I see you smiling, Ahmed.
Yes, because I think that oftentimes it's not easy to balance both, actually, because sometimes we want to be in worldly affairs and only care about ourselves. However, I feel like everyone has time for it. Everyone can make time for it. I often fall prey to it. I'm always scrolling on my phone or doing things that honestly don't have much value to my life. But just taking the time to think about what we could do to better the lives of others is something that's really important. And it shouldn't be that hard of a balance to find. However, I think I'm not in the same field as both of our other guests, which their whole life, I think, revolves around it. But even if you don't dedicate your whole life to it, you can find moments and time in your life to help people.
Okay. Tell us, Sira, how are you balancing your life, your school, the institutional work you're doing, and taking care of your own self?
I mean, I join I'm joining what Ami said. We can all make time for that, because it's just questions of commitment. If you're committed enough to do it, you will do it. If it's really in your heart and you really want to do it, you will do it. If we want it, we just make it.
There are some young people who want to do these things. They don't know the way out. Although there are some who are very hesitant to doing it. What can you say to them, Utsma?
Well, I feel like it gets me back to the benefits of engaging in community projects. I feel like one of the core benefits are mental health and just getting a sense of purpose. Okay, so I think countless studies have proven that volunteering helps reduce anxiety, depression, and just that feeling of I'm just living my life scrolling. Okay, helping others, it helps you wake up excited. So I feel like you don't just need to see it as a burden. You need to find something that drives you, so that it will just be like a hobby to you. And over time, just like I mentioned, community projects oftentimes turn into social enterprises.
So what development projects, especially youth-led initiatives like what you're doing, what do you want to see these initiatives in 2 or 3 years or even 5 years from now? How do you want to see young people engaging in these initiatives?
Well, I would like actually for our governments and the leaders of our countries to put volunteering, to give it a greater importance.
Okay.
In some countries in the north, they actually evaluate volunteering time, and they even give it a value in terms of money. If you were getting paid for it, if you write that you volunteered for this work, they can evaluate how much it would have cost, and that's a key element on your CV. Like I just mentioned, for example, a line on your CV that says I raised $10,000 and built two classrooms, that beats a first-class degree. Okay, so I think it starts with our government putting volunteering work at the core center of what they're teaching the kids, and then the kids will follow then.
Okay, what are your recommendations to you, Ami?
So first of all, I think what Usman said is very pertinent. However, I think it should actually start in schools. Because oftentimes we see that a lot of school trips or activities are being organized by schools, and often they make parents pay for those activities and school trips. And so if they even took one trip off of that schedule to actually teach children from a very young age that having a hands-on approach and actually helping the community is something that they should prioritize in their lives, I think that would make a bigger impact because it would be taught from a very young age. And so I would like to come to that first. And of course, what Usman just said is very pertinent too.
Okay. That's wonderful. It's good to have you here today. We really appreciate your time. We hope another time you come and we discuss other important issues. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here today too.
Okay. What do you want to say finally to young people, to government institutions or NGOs before you leave us today?
What I would like to say is that first of all, thank you for the invitation, and then thank you for giving us the opportunity to make Lift Up known by others. And what I would like to say to younger people who want to create association or who want to volunteer, just don't hesitate, jump. When you jump, you will see the realities of the realities in the field. You will know what to do and what not to do, because it's by doing that we're learning. And what I would like to say to maybe local authorities or government is that to take attention to younger people, young organizations, and other associations that are here to help people in need.
Thank you so much, Sira, for coming. Thank you. We really open arms for another conversation.
Thank you very much.
Right, and finally to you, Usman.
Well, what I would like to say is that I would like the young people to understand that when you serve the community will give it back to you 10 times over, in skills, in money, in networks, mental health, purpose, and legacy. When you serve the community, it's not charity. It's the best investment they can do in their own lives. So they should go ahead, start now, start small, and then just watch the whole continent work for them because they worked for it first.
It was a privilege having you with us today, Usman. Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
All right, well, listeners and viewers, that's how we conclude this edition of Take the Lead here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and online at WADR.org. Sincere gratitude to you for being with us today. Please join us next Friday for another live episode of this program. Remember to take the lead in shaping the discourse for the betterment of young people in Africa. My name is Augustine Cully. Bye for now.
Take the Lead is back in 2025 with a brand new format. Yes, your youth exchange space will now be broadcast live every Friday at 4:05 p.m. Universal Time. And that's not all. Dear internet users and WADR subscribers, you have the opportunity to experience the show live and direct on our online platforms on Facebook at WADR English Service and on YouTube at WADR. Take the Lead every Friday from 4:05 p.m. Universal Time and rebroadcast same day at 1 a.m. Universal Time. Also on every Tuesday, your youth program will be rebroadcast at 7:15 a.m. and 4:05 p.m. GMT. Take the lead and champion the discourse for the betterment of young people.